Hey, Danny. Um, One of the things that I think a lot of people may be thinking about is that maybe they're afraid that they've missed the boat with Bitcoin, and they hear all these amazing stories about, I tripled my money or I tripled my Bitcoin, or a year ago it was $750 and now it's $8,200, and you know people people are motivated by fear that they're
Yeah.
missing out on something.
Yeah, we call it FOMO, fear of missing out. It's exactly what it's called.
Really?
And for good reason. I mean, when you look at a chart, let's look at this Bitcoin chart that I had pulled up earlier. Uh, like I was saying, I was just going, okay, let's go back a year to January, a little bit less than a year, but let's just go back to January. Bitcoin has increased by, let's see, keep going. As of right now today, oh, sorry, I did it backwards. It's like 1,050%. Let's get this right because I want people to see. I mean, this is why everybody is talking about Bitcoin. This is why, we're all going to go to Thanksgiving Turkey Day, and I would probably, promise. I wouldn't be surprised if you're sitting at the table and Bitcoin comes up. That's how much people are talking about it now compared to what they were talking about last year when it was, in January, it was $750. It's increased 1,035% in less than a year.
So you bought $100 worth a year ago. It's worth $1,000 now. A
Yeah,
thousand, a thousand.
a little more than that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even John, even if you bought it 3 months ago, it's doubled,
Yeah.
right? So people are going, okay, oh my gosh, it's $8,200. Is it too late for me to buy it? It's so expensive, right? And another
Yeah.
thing a lot of people ask when they're new to Bitcoin or to cryptocurrency is, I can't afford to buy a Bitcoin, right?
Right.
Well, that's
Sure.
okay. It's just like pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, and dollars. You can buy a tenth of a Bitcoin. You can
Right.
buy $10, $10 US worth of a Bitcoin.
Right.
You don't have to do a whole Bitcoin at a time.
And just for the information of our listeners, the smallest part of a Bitcoin is called a Satoshi.
Mm-hmm.
And a Satoshi is like point zero zero. It's 8 decimal points. So yeah, you can buy a tiny amount, like just a tiny amount of Bitcoin if you want to. And that's one of the things that will make it useful in doing transactions, is that just tiny amount of Bitcoin. But yeah, so people are like, it's kind of like, remember the internet about, what was it, 25 years ago, 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
When there were articles in the newspaper every other day about the internet and how it was going to change everything, but no, it probably really won't. And, is it going to be around, or is it just a fad? And I was working in a computer store at the time, and, selling modems and getting people online. And is it too late if you've never had an internet account or an email address before today? Is it too late to get one? Of course not.
Good point.
Yeah, same thing with Bitcoin. Get in.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Well, and I really believe we're all still early adopters.
yeah,
We are just at the cusp of this whole cryptocurrency blockchain phenomenon that's really transforming the way everybody does business globally. We are at the very helm of seeing it start becoming mainstream. I mean, when you're out at the mall now and you see a Bitcoin ATM, when JP Morgan is thinking about allowing their clients to trade Bitcoin futures on the futures market, derivatives market, when global banks are trying to create their own personal cryptocurrency, when they're using different altcoin currencies like Ripple and Stellar to do international transactions. Because let's just, if you've ever wired money internationally, it's a pain. It's like, go to the bank, ask for permission, get the SWIFT codes, fill out all the paperwork, pay $50 to $100 for the
yep.
transaction. Takes 3 to 4 business days, maybe sometimes 7, depending on if there's a holiday in between or a long weekend, for the person you're sending the money to get the money. Cryptocurrency is instantaneous. It may take a couple of hours if the transaction, if the blockchain is all bogged down.
Right.
But like, I could send you Litecoin right now and you'd have it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world.
Yep.
No, and it would cost maybe 10, 20 cents for me to send you thousands of US dollars worth of Litecoin. Yeah. Bitcoin, same thing. So it solves a lot of different problems. And we're all living in a space, like I try to tell people, do you use online banking? Do you pay cash for every bill you pay?
No, we've been using digital currency now for 20, 25 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like one click away. It's hard to get people to jump the fence, right? But the reality is it's just 1 degree away from what they're already doing. They use their online bank account, they use their cell phone, they use their debit card. We hardly ever touch physical cash anymore.
That's right.
It's a virtual world that we live in. And so virtual currency, Bitcoin, altcoins, all of those cryptocurrencies are just virtual currencies. And now, but the difference is we don't have to ask our bank for permission or pay them fees every time we use our own money.
Yeah.
So it creates a lot of freedom.
And the thing that a lot of people are confused about, and it's kind of a sticking point, is they think that, well, Bitcoin, it isn't backed by anything. And we could talk about this topic for hours in and of itself, but they say, well, it's not backed by anything. So I prefer my US dollars. Well,
what's at one point,
yeah, the US dollar used to be backed by gold or silver, and you could go to the bank and get some gold and silver. But today, due to what's called fractional reserve banking, the bank doesn't have any money, and there might be some gold in Fort Knox, but our currency is not tied to anything of value. Mm-hmm. And when you kind of get over that and get past some of your early childhood training about money, you discover that there is no value to the money that we use on a daily basis. It's all digital. The bank doesn't have stacks and stacks of dollars. They don't keep your money. It's all made up.
Exactly. And if the bank becomes insolvent, like in Greece, they can lock your account up and take your money to pay for their own debts. Yeah. So this is like, I call it Alice in Wonderland. We go down the rabbit hole of cryptocurrency, and then we delve into so many other topics, and it just gets deeper and deeper. And I know, cryptomentoring.com, like we created that to keep it simple for people, because the reality is I still don't understand how my Gmail sends you an email.
That's right.
Right? I don't know how that works, but it does.
It does.
And I don't know how, Facebook Messenger works, but it does. I don't know how Zoom, which is what we're using to record this video, works, but we still can use it and leverage it. And so that's kind of my message to my friends is for those who feel like they've missed the boat, right? I personally see Bitcoin being 20 grand, the value of it being 20 grand within the next 12 months. Call me crazy, but I don't see anything stopping it. The bullishness on the news and the mainstream media and everything. And like I said, the large banks and governments realizing we can't beat them. So now we need to join them. It's all happening. So I don't think people have missed out. I think they need to be very wise and realize there is a risk, just like any other investment.
Yep.
And it's extremely volatile. This is it's a brand new market, right? It's like the .com bubble. How many of those companies lasted?
Yep.
So be careful.
Yep.
Know that it's a risk. Only invest what you can afford to lose.
Absolutely.
And know that, like if you look at this chart, like it doesn't mean a lot to somebody who's brand new. It didn't mean a darn thing to me a few months ago until I started, paying more attention to the cryptocurrency and trading. But Bitcoin has, in the last 12 months, has had 30% retraces and pullbacks 6 times. That's extremely volatile. That's quite a roller coaster ride. So, for a trader, for an experienced trader, I should say, it's an awesome opportunity to really increase your holdings. But for somebody who just wants to invest, I say treat it like a savings account. And if you can afford to put $100 a month in, put $100 a month in and just be ready to hold it for a couple of years.
My son is 24. He's got his first real job after college, and he's set up a Coinbase account. and he's putting in like $25 every week.
Nice.
And through the process of dollar cost averaging, which is a well-known phenomenon in investing, you buy some every week or every day or every month or whatever your budget can afford. And it's going to go down and it's going to come up and it's going to go down and it's going to come up. And over time, the value will increase and you'll get the benefit of some of the dips, and you'll also pay the price of some of the the peaks. But the point is that you're engaged and you're doing something on a regular basis, and it's all going to turn out just fine in the end. And you use the term roller coaster. If you don't like roller coasters, Bitcoin might not be for you. I believe that it's not for everybody, because if you decide to just throw money at it and keep your fingers crossed, you may very well lose all your money, and you have no one to blame but yourself, because there's so much good educational material out there. And again, maybe you go back to that link that shows how they can get the course, the basics course. Get educated, spend a few hours. You're talking about your financial future. You're talking about your future retirement or whatever it is that you want to do with your money. Don't just throw money at it and keep your fingers crossed. Spend a few hours, watch these videos, and learn what you can. You don't need to know everything. I don't know how my smartphone works, but it works every time, or pretty much every time. Just take some kind of action. And over the long haul, I think you will not be disappointed if you understand what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you go to cryptomentoring.com and you want to learn just the very basics of how do you open up a Coinbase account? How do you buy a piece of a Bitcoin, a partial Bitcoin, or maybe you want to invest in a Litecoin or Ethereum. You can do that with Coinbase. What are those? What are altcoins? All of those kind of basic questions. That's what our Cryptocurrency 101 course is. And all you do is you just subscribe, and then it brings you to this video. We explain all that and answer a lot more questions. And then you see a video of how to start a Coinbase account. You see a video on Ledger and Trezor. Those are hardware wallets. We won't get into that on this, this crypto conversation that John and I are having. But it's just a way to really secure your holdings, which is extremely important. And then, it leads you on to more free information, because we really want to help educate the masses. So it's not such a scary, weird concept, but that you feel more comfortable with making the decision as to how you want to proceed. And if you want to be a part of the cryptocurrency revolution or evolution or not. So that's really what cryptomentoring.com is all about.
Yes. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. That you are watching. If you've watched this or listened to this video to this point, or watched the video to this point, you've already identified yourself as someone who's seriously interested in learning more, and just take it a step at a time. Do you want to buy as soon as possible? Yeah, I think so. It may go down the day after you buy, but you gotta do something sometime. You don't want to find yourself a year from now still thinking, gosh, it's $12,000. I wish I had bought a few $100 worth.
Yep, exactly. And I love what your son's doing. He's cost averaging. So, he might have caught this dip here was 3,000, and then he puts in a couple more $100 when it's 4,600, and he puts a couple more when it's 5,000, and then, 8,000. And so he'll look back at this in a year, and when it is, 15, 20,000, what have you. And he'll go, hey, my cost average, my basis for Bitcoin was $9,000. I've doubled my money, right? So that's a possibility. It's not a guarantee, right? We're not here to make any guarantees at all. We just know that there is risk involved, just like any other investment, and how you choose to, if you're going to trade, if you're going to mine, if you're going to run a masternode. I mean, there's lots of different options that we'll be discussing in future videos and crypto conversations. And we look forward to helping everybody learn more about the space and be more comfortable in the space and come up with a good strategy that works for you.
Reach out to us if you have any questions.
All right. And be sure to go to cryptomentoring.com, subscribe to watch the free video, and we'll always be sharing cheat sheets and lots of information via email with you as well. So thanks for becoming a subscriber at cryptomentoring.com.